electro-hypostasis powder. Extract of an animal crystal fly can only be animal elemental energy, right? This has gotta be it. Still in one piece. Good thing the vial's so strong.
Okay.
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
Might be. I don't really know the current meta thing.
Yep. Guess it does sort of count as a superpower, huh?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
So basically saying that nothing special.
You mean we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment. I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces.
Okay.
Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning. In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then?
Why does he fall apart on floor 12?
So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
You want us to jump from up here?
Okay. Now I just feel like he's trying to kill us.
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing.
Maybe? Not sure.
No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Wait a minute. While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So, if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
He won't.
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Ish. Up.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
I don't think that's really that big of a feat. Most of them just drink their livers away.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat.
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to.
Probably not that hard to outperform him. Outperform him.
If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
Is he thinking about eating again?
But how does this help your research?
Well, maybe. Not sure if he's including everyone in the guild.
You've
Could.
helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended.
You're gonna call me a hilly troll. Thank you.
Old, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own.
What?
The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost.
It could, but I'm not sure.
All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsetia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Maybe they'll have some sort of rerun of past events, so that the people that haven't seen the cutscenes could see them, or the old events, like the reconciled stars.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting in the differences between them?
Yeah, and well, a lot of people haven't been able to see it. For newer players, it's more jarring.
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like some basic draft of a sketch?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime.
Maybe? Yeah, maybe.
Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby. I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test. I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center.
It's also kind of understandable that they separated off.
As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. Remember that this is a test of intellect, so should you get lucky in any way, that won't be factored in as part of the test.
Yeah, but I don't think people are that ready for it at the start of it.
So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like. complex environment, so proceed with caution.
And there's more of them. Okay. And then they honestly just... Okay. Is there a third one somewhere? No. Yeah.
Off we go.
Get to the second one. Yep. Down.
Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Here.
Off we go.
It is also known for a lot of treasure. It's understandable what a lot of people would try to get here.
It's no.
Okay. I kind of do the same though. In the zoom, before I actually started the main quest, I more or less went and activated all the statues. Said I wouldn't need to bounce around, more or less have to deal with what's it called. Nope.
Let it rain.
You're in for a little shock.
Stone. Get on over. It's bad.
It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism.
Yep.
Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out. Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look.
Okay. Cutscene.
What's this?
This one was an Enconomia. These two have no clue.
To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once. Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
Yes.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention.
Not sure. If you explore most of the large map, make it a bit easier to get from place A to place B, at least.
Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the results of all this brain ache.
But it also makes it a bit harder when you start out the chests.
Unless
And-
you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
And then you just need more primo gems to get new characters.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You didn't leave the mountain?
Yeah, but that's all, AR level. You can kind of stop it for a little bit. There's level 40. There's the quest that you have to do to actually level up.
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor.
Okay.
Taking orders from a complete stranger, drinking anonymous potions, participating in all kinds of strange experiments?
It beats stalking random people.
I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps you were colluding from the beginning.
Like the 7-day-long quest.
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way!
Oh.
I would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
I haven't actually finished that fully.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
Is that part of it, but not fully?
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
Yeah, but it's not that bad.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them.
Another quest is also the shrine of Akase shrine, I think it was. Basically Neko the Shrine Maiden.
But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat.
At least it makes the area a bit easier to explore. And we get rid of that miasma or whatever it is.
Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
So,
She's gone. So stubborn.
where did she walk to though?
Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo.
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? I wouldn't worry. She's just doing her job. Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go.
You know he's really trying to be the well-read character if he's using words like myriad.
But the integral preliminary conclusion
Big
that I can
words.
offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Tevat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Tevat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea.
That is.
Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
It looks like a glazed lily.
the transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem. And now to fruition.
Honestly, it also kind of looked like... Actually, I don't think I can say that. Maybe save it for later.
Is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
Aww.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Why did his eyes get darker?
Paimon thought with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So,
Okay.
do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey. I made a point throughout of telling him how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it mean?
Maybe it's from the volunteers. Their character was purifying, and more or less suck up corruption.
Those born of Earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Probably.